Session Facade architecture in Jakarta Enterprise Beans, EJB. Here you can see session facade architecture. This illustration shows the remote session beans architecture. Client application accesses the session remotely, and the session interacts with the Java objects on behalf of the client application. The majority of systems have relationships between application entities. This being the expected scenario, it is well observed and explained by J2E designers. More common, however, is to incorporate the domain logic into the session bean itself. This migrates the business logic from the client to the server, which provides a number of well-known benefits, including ease of maintenance, convenient upgradability, and increased access to server features. Regardless of whether the session bean simply forwards the operations entities or actually includes the application logic as a facade that fronts the local entities in its modular approach to remotely accessing server-side objects, it is also likely to be easier to maintain as J2EE specification moves forward. Since session beans tend to experience change to a lesser degree than other components such as entities, the decision to use stateful and or stateless session bean will likely depend on the amount of business logic incorporated into the session bean. Advantages: location transparency on session interface. Fine-grained entity operations can be batched or combined into a single session bean call to reduce communication and transaction overhead. Inter-entity method calls are passed by reference. Can maintain entity relationship. All components described by EJB specification. Flexibility to create new local transaction of specific method calls when required. Fine-grained client calls may require explosion of session interface calls. Some container overhead still incurred on each local entity call. Here you can see a client is connected to session. Session and entities are inside the server. Session is connected to entities. Entities interact. Entities are connected to database. Now this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for watching it.